Grayson, so thanks so much for coming in. Good to see you.
Thank you.
A little CD for you and everything, so there we go. People know who you are. And so first up here, we've got under your title here, NL instead of R or D. What is the No Labels Party?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
Now, some billionaires and millionaires from Washington wanted to run a third-party candidate for president in the 2024 election. They qualified as a party in Arizona, but apparently they didn't want to behave like a party. So when I said that I was going to run for office, they filed a suit against Arizona, the Secretary of State, and the federal judge said, mistakenly, I think, and I'm a lawyer and I study election law, that, okay, this party's right of association trumps Arizona state law, or the individual candidates, myself and 4 other people who wanted to run on a no-labels party, their right to run. It was appealed. We are waiting on a decision from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. We were waiting 4 months for it. However, the injunction was only for the 2024 election. So it does not apply because the Secretary of State website originally wouldn't let me run, and I told them that the injunction had expired. So right now I am a write-in candidate in the No Labels Party. Now in 2024, for all offices, the Secretary of State to the active early voters list, there are now 36,000 registered voters in the No Labels Party. We have actually gone over the number of libertarians to become Arizona's third party. They received a ballot that was entirely blank with instructions that you can't fill it in at all, which is kind of a very strange thing. So I hope now when they receive, the early voters receive their No Labels Party ballot for this congressional election, they don't see anybody's name on it. What I want them to know is they can write in Richard Grayson, and I need 1 vote, just 1 stinking rotten vote for me to be on the September 23rd special general election.
So when this election is happening, you're going to have to run.
I don't know. Hey, you know what's interesting? My biggest rival may be Mickey Mouse. But what people in Arizona do not know is if you vote for someone who's not on the ballot, Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, Beyonce, it's not counted at all. And it's just as if you never voted. The only votes that will count write-ins in the No Labels Party primary are for Richard Grayson. Now, I expect from previous runs in other parties, small parties like this, the majority of write-in votes will be from people like Mickey Mouse. I don't know if he's the person. He actually has not declared his candidacy. He does have a club.
So in terms of this election itself, not a lot of people tonight, you were going to have to run for office. So what was it that you
Oh, I have a OCD. I have an obsessive candidate disorder. And so I've run for office many times in the past. When I'm now 74, when I was 27, I filed with the Federal Election Commission, this is back in 1979, to run for vice president. It seemed like a cushy job, you know? And they officially made me a candidate, sort of. I mean, anyone can register with the Federal Elections Commission. And I got a lot of fun publicity out of it, you know. And then in 1984, I ran for president against President Reagan. And I asked You know, there was a great TV show, Falcon Crest on CBS. I think it was right here on this station.
Yeah.
Viewers watched it with starring Jane Wyman, Reagan's ex-wife, and I asked her to be my vice presidential candidate because she had experience in dumping Ronald Reagan. Yeah, she told People magazine why that's incongruous, and I think they might have misheard her. I think she would have said, like, I want to work with Congress.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's
When she wouldn't do it, I tried to get Meryl Streep to be my running mate. Streep for Wheat sounded good. And I've run these stupid campaigns pretty much ever since. I once ran for a town office in the town of Davie, Florida, and I was running. The town had like 10,000 people and 15,000 horses, and I thought the horses deserved the right to vote. I did well in the Gallup poll. I pledged to vote nay on everything that came up before the city council.
And so you say you don't even live in the district you live there?
Yeah, no, that's never stopped me. I live in the state, which actually, according to the Constitution, a lot of people don't realize this. The qualifications are you have to be a U.S. citizen. You have to be 25 years old. One of the candidates in this race just made it, right? I think since I'm almost 75, she probably wants to be euthanized. But, yeah, and you have to be an inhabitant of the state, not the district. So you do not have to run. Last year, I was the No Labels Party candidate for Congress in Alaska, and I've never been to Alaska. I finished 10th out of 12, not too bad, not last. I haven't thought about that. I don't know who my voters are. I would imagine probably like mostly mental patients or former mental patients who mistake me for somebody else. So, I think there's probably more qualified candidates. Not all of them running are. I think of all the candidates in the parties, I would say I'm about fourth, maybe fifth most qualified. If we had ranked choice voting, I might get some more votes. But I don't think, first we got to win the primary. So if there's one person out there who has to write in Richard Grayson and spell it somewhat correctly,
Like prop.
Yeah. I think that will probably be people who assume I'm a caped crime fighter, which I actually am in my spare time. That's all. No, I know some of the candidates are really focused on crime, but none of them wear capes and masks.
Richard, this has been one of the most interesting political interviews I've ever done.
Thank you very much.